All right, this is from Mike, and hopefully Jennifer, and maybe someone else will come across it or use it eventually. But I want to take you through what I am doing around using generative AI to do some vibe coding. Don't worry about all this text here; it's nothing. Um, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Claude Code, but I could do the same thing in Cursor. I have Claude Code running on my machine. I also have Cursor running on my machine, and frankly, what I do is I often will just I will go from Cursor to Claude Code back and forth, and what I do is I start working on a main project like in Claude, and then I sort of have a side project going on in Cursor, and sort of have them both going at the same time. So anyway, I shit you not. This will make you so productive and so valuable. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. Shit, I didn't even turn this fucking thing on yet, did I? Okay. So you can see as I'm talking, the recording process, the voice typing is essentially taking everything I say, and it's oh fuck, what did I do? All right, whatever. And so it's taking everything I say and it's gonna just type it out, and that's essentially this is what I'm going to use when I'm coding in Cursor or Claude, and this is how easy it is. I mean, essentially, what you do is you just talk to whatever platform you're going to use. You don't have to worry about how it's actually going to be coded, any specific logic and shit like that. You just talk. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this block of text into Claude, hit enter, and Claude's going to do shit. And so let me show you exactly how that's going to work. I'm going to go ahead and delete this because I don't need this, and I think you guys get the concept. Okay, Claude, I need to set aside this particular agent that we've been working on, and I'm going to come back to it maybe later today. If not today, maybe over the weekend or Monday, but I got a demo on Tuesday, so I'll be back. So I need to sort of keep my place here. But what I need to do is create a new project, or let's work on a new agent or something like that. So what I want you to do is close this project and I guess just create a new one or something like that. So go ahead and do that and then confirm back to me that you were able to do that. So I'm going to stop that, copy this. I'm going to go over to Claude that's in the terminal, paste it, go. And so Claude is, it's doing its shit. And so anyway, again, all I do is I just talk to it. It runs off and does whatever it needs to do. And then it's going to come back and, tell me what it's able to do and all that stuff. So he's telling me, okay, to save everything where we are so we can pick it right back up when I'm ready. So it's going through the process that it needs to go through to take care of that, to back that up, however it needs to be backed up. On my hard drive, in the cloud, whatever, I don't give a shit. It's handling it, and I'm not doing anything. So, again, it's sort of thrashing and running around and all that. And I'll probably trim the video at this point, so you don't have to sit here and just watch it, keep counting up how many seconds it's going. Okay, so it's asking me what's the new project I want to work on. I could type it in here, but what I'm going to do is talk it and then paste it again. Okay, this new project is going to help me keep track of my activities. I do a really terrible job of keeping track of the stuff that I'm working on a day-to-day basis. And I need to report all of that stuff as activities in our Salesforce Org62, period. And so, oh, fuck. It's supposed to, yeah, okay, good. And so, so anyway, what I want you to do is I want you to, every 15 minutes, while I am working with you here, collaborating with you, you're doing vibe coding on my behalf and all that stuff. Every 15 minutes, what I want you to do is I want you to go into my calendar, my Google Calendar, and I want you to create a block of time, 15 minutes long, and I want you just to update it with whatever we were doing. So, again, the only purpose is really just to prompt me when I go back and look at my calendar to know, what I was doing at that point during the week. So first, can you confirm that you're able to do that? You're able to access my calendar, and then you can make these updates. And then if you are able to do that, just go ahead and code it. Now, if you can't, tell me you can't and tell me what I might need to do in order for you to be able to do that. All right, so this is me coding. I'm a fucking coding wizard right now. So I come here, paste it, go. And so that's, you can see my block of stuff got pasted into Claude. And Claude's going to think again. I might trim this again so that you don't have to, watch Claude, thrash around and do this stuff. But, it's going to take a minute or whatever. Do you want to proceed? 2, yes. Proceed and don't ask me again. So anything related to this Google Meet calendar thing, calendar access confirmed. I'll set up a recurring 15-minute job every time it fires. It'll create a... Okay, good. A couple of things to know. This is session only. It runs as long as this Claude conversation is open. If you close and start a new one, I'd need to set it up again. It'll auto-expire after 7 days regardless. Now, what's the new project you want to work on? Okay, so it thinks I have a different project. This is actually the project. So I'm going to go back over here. No, this is the actual project. This is what I want you to do for me. Is there some way that I could make a skill or something like that so that I don't have to prompt you every single time? Is there some way that, I think it might be an MD file. Is there some way that I could create like an MD file and store it in the proper folder on my hard drive so that anytime I'm interacting with you, you do this thing automatically without me specifically asking? Is that something you can do? Paste it. And again, this is vibe coding, guys. This is all it is. All right. So again, there's a skill. It's a superpower skill. So it's loading its superpower. Yes, a Claude MD file is exactly the right mechanism. Claude code automatically loads it. Start of the session. Anything in there is a standing instruction. Here's what I'll do. I'll create Claude in your home directory and tells me to do something automatically. Done. Claude is now at the blah, 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 blah. That's in your home directory, which Claude code reads. From now on, every time you open Claude code, isn't there already Claude code, Claude.md file that you are using? And again, you can misspell. You can see when I'm dictating, it's running words together and all that. Claude or Cursor or whatever you use, it's going to figure that shit out. You don't have to worry about it. That was a brand new file I created just now. The other two, see, there's 2 other ones, are subdirectories for specific projects. Let me check if either has content I should be aware of before we consider merging. There's a detailed global Claude you already have in Cursor May 8th. The one I created, blah, 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 is the right place. It's in your home directory, which Claude reads globally. The May 8th one only applies when you're working inside that folder. That's wrong. I need this one that's in May 8th folder to be my global one as well. I got to merge these two. Do you want to move these global operating principles from May 8th to users Claude image so they apply everywhere? Yes, I want to do that shit. All right. This again, this is vibe coding. This is all it is. This is all it takes. And you got to do this whatever you're working on, right? And it's going to take a few steps and all that stuff. You just got to think, all right, do I want to do this manually, or do I want to just talk to Claude and see if Claude can do it? Because if Claude can do it, he's going to do it a lot faster and a lot better than I am. And it's going to make me more efficient, A. And B, it's going to make me look like I'm better at my job. And here at Salesforce, C, everybody else is doing this. And so if I don't do this, I'm going to look like a complete Luddite in a boat anchor, and they're going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? Get out of here. So it's got to be done. And again, I think you guys, as soon as you start using this, as soon as you figure it out and start using it, you're going to be wondering how you ever worked without using something like this. Have the Knicks advanced against Philly yet? I think they have. Did they sweep? I think they swept. And in the West, is San Antonio and Oklahoma City, are they on a collision course in the NBA West? Mike Ingram, I should ask you this because you are a huge NBA fan, right? I suspect Jennifer might know more about the NBA than you do. Oh, look at all that shit. Okay, now has everything. The calendar logging at the top, followed by all the global operating principles. The thing is redundant since everything's in it. You can delete it if you want or leave it. It won't cause any harm. It'll just be a duplicate. All right, fuck it. I'll leave it. I don't care. So anyway, this is lesson 1 in vibe coding, and you got to install Claude Code, and if you want, you can use Cursor. And Cursor, it has a different user interface, but it's essentially the same thing. I could come here and say new agent, and here I can just click. Hey Cursor, how you doing? I need you to do something for me. I'm having difficulty trying to keep track of all my events. I need to record all that stuff in Activity Editor in our Org62 Salesforce org. And so is it possible for you to look in Slack and look at my Slack activity and be able to summarize that and essentially put it in my calendar at the time that I actually did the work and documented it in Slack? Just put it in my calendar at that same time as a 15-minute block. Again, so I just want to keep track of what I'm doing on a daily basis for my activity reporting requirements. I'm having Claude do the same thing there, but can you do the same thing but go through and look at Slack? So I stop, it's generating, boom, I hit go. And what's actually happening in the back, my cursor environment is pointing to the Anthropic LLM, which is Claude. So essentially, I'm using Claude in 2 different interfaces here. Again, it's essentially the same. I think Mike Ingram said that Claude was $17 a month. That's what it costs to use Claude coding. Cursor is probably similar. It might be a little bit more. Maybe they charge you a little bit more for the user interface, which looks a lot like Visual Studio Code. And you can see, similar to what Claude was doing, it's going through all these different steps and all that. So again, this is vibe coding. That's all it is. And if I tried to do this myself, if I tried to go back and look at my Slack and all that stuff, it would just take too much time. What Slack range I want, is it possible, what the fuck am I typing for? Okay, I want you to do it for the last 2 weeks. I want you to use both channels, the public channels and the private channels, my DMs and my public channels. And is it possible for you to create appointments or events, create events in my Google Calendar, so that if I did something on May 1st, 2 Fridays ago, and you see that in Slack, you can go ahead and create an entry in my Google Calendar. Okay, and so it's gonna take input from what I did and go ahead and send that, and it's gonna keep going. This is vibe coding. Got to do it. Got to do it, man. Got to do it. I accomplished so much this week. It was like the most productive week I ever had because I had Claude and Cursor both working on my behalf, doing shit, and it is career changing. And if you want to make sure that you are not redundant and you are like the most valuable player and all that shit, you got to do this. And at this point, I'm probably going to stop the recording. I'm going to upload it to YouTube, send you guys the link and all that shit. Oh, by the way, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do this, have this stuff go into Google Meet, and I'm going to see what it does. I'll see how these events look in my Google Calendar. And then I'm going to come back to Claude and to Cursor, and I'm going to say, yeah, you know what? That doesn't really work right. Can you do this instead? Can you make this tweak, et cetera, et cetera? So I'll probably go back and forth with Claude on that stuff, and with Cursor on my Slack stuff. I'll go back and forth about a dozen times to sort of test and refine the process so that it works exactly the way I want it to work. And probably as step 2, what I might do is have it go into this activity editor in Org62 and just do the updates itself. That's a little more complicated because I have to relate it to particular opportunity IDs and blah, blah, all that shit. But I'll probably try to do that as well. The more I can automate this, the less time I have to spend on a Friday morning documenting my activities, the better off I'll be. And it'll be one less, stupid administrative task that's sort of sitting on my plate. Okay, again, what I'm going to do here is instead of having it create a bunch of 15-minute blocks in my calendar, if I'm working at length with Claude, it's going to go in and instead of creating two 15-minute blocks, it's going to update the first block and make it a 30-minute block. And now I'm going to say, hey, I just want to make sure that if I do 3 blocks, you're going to have a 45-minute event. And if we do 4 blocks consecutively, you'll have an hour event. I just want to make sure so that it's going to handle everything correctly. Starts, extends another 15 minutes, updates the summary. So a 3-hour session becomes 1 3-hour event. It just keeps growing. Perfect. All right? And so Claude's telling me it's going to do that. But what I got to do is I got to check to make sure it is really doing that, because it may not do that. It may think it's doing it, but it may not do it right. It may do it wrong. And so I'll have to come back here and say, hey, Claude, you fucked up. You're not doing, you're not combining everything into a longer event. You're creating separate events or whatever. And again, I may have to go back and forth a few times with Claude to get it right. But yeah, it will end up doing it. And there, I just made my Friday mornings, 17% more pleasant because I don't have to, think about things. I don't have to look at my yellow legal pad at what notes I took and all that stuff. It's just going to automatically do it.